The massive repair station hung in Earth's orbit like a giant metal spider web, its long docking arms stretching out into space. Known simply as the dock, it was humanity's pride and joy, their first major contribution to the galactic commonwealth. Station Chief Tom Reed stood at his office window, sipping his morning coffee, when the emergency lights began flashing. Red warning signs lit up his display screen, showing an unscheduled arrival. Something big was coming. "Chief, you need to see this," his assistant's voice crackled through the intercom. "We've got a Class 5 ship approaching. It's like nothing we've seen before." Tom rushed to the main control room, nearly spilling his coffee. Through the massive observation window, he saw it, a crystalline ship that seemed to be made entirely of translucent, geometric shapes. It was beautiful, but even from this distance, he could tell something was wrong. The ship's movements were jerky, and some of its crystal sections weren't aligned properly. "Status report," Tom ordered, setting down his cup. "Ship is 3 times larger than our biggest dock," replied Jack, his head technician. "But it's the smallest dock they can fit into. Their main systems are failing, and they're running on emergency power." The alien ship's communication system crackled to life. A holographic image appeared on the main screen, showing a tall, bioluminescent being. Its body glowed with patterns of blue light, shifting and changing as it spoke. "This is Captain Blue of the Crystal Paths," the alien's translator conveyed. "We seek emergency repairs. Our ship has been declared irreparable at 7 other repair stations. You are our last hope." Tom straightened his uniform. This was exactly the kind of opportunity Earth had been waiting for. In the 6 months since joining the Commonwealth, they had only handled minor repairs for smaller alien vessels. This could put human engineering on the galactic map. "Captain Blue, this is Station Chief Tom Reed. We'll need to scan your vessel before attempting any repairs. Can you hold position for 10 minutes? The alien's lights pulsed faster, their version of a nod. "Acknowledged, Station Chief. But please hurry. Our power core is failing." Tom turned to his team. "Get me those scans. And someone wake up Mike Harris. If anyone can figure this out, it's him." The next few minutes were a blur of activity. The scan results showed the crystal ship's internal structure was incredibly complex, like a living geometric puzzle. Most of the damage seemed to center around its power core, where microscopic fractures spread through the crystalline matrix like a spider's web. Mike Harris arrived, his gray hair messy from sleep, but his eyes sharp with interest. He studied the scans, scratching his chin thoughtfully. "Well?" Tom asked. "Can we fix it?" Mike grinned. "You know what this reminds me of? Remember that time we had to repair that cracked diamond lens in the quantum microscope? Same principle, just bigger. Much bigger." "But this is alien tech," Jack protested. "We've never worked with anything like this before." "Technology is technology," Mike replied, already pulling up repair simulations on his tablet. "Basic principles stayed the same. We're good at fixing things because we understand how things break. These crystals, they're just very, very fancy rocks." Tom looked back at the waiting alien ship, then at his team's eager faces. This was why humans had survived and thrived. They never backed down from a challenge. When something broke, they fixed it. When something seemed impossible, they found a way. He opened the communication channel again. "Captain Blue, we've reviewed your ship's damage. Request permission to begin repair procedures." The alien's lights flickered with surprise. "You believe you can repair our vessel? 7 other species have failed." Tom smiled. "Captain, there's something you should know about humans. We've been fixing broken things since we first picked up stones as tools. It's not just what we do, it's who we are." The alien's lights pulsed slowly, considering. "Very well, Station Chief Reed. We place our ship in your hands." As the massive crystal ship began its careful approach to the docking arms, Tom knew this was just the beginning. Humanity was about to show the galaxy what they could really do. The crystal ship's interior was even more impressive than its exterior. Tom Reed and Mike Harris walked through corridors that seemed to be carved from pure diamond, their footsteps echoing against the transparent walls. Captain Blue's glowing form floated ahead of them, leading the way to the damaged power core. "Watch your step," Mike warned, pointing at his tablet. "These readings are off the charts. The whole ship is like one big circuit board made of crystal." They reached the core chamber, and both humans stopped in their tracks. Before them stood a massive crystalline structure, reaching from floor to ceiling. It would have been beautiful if not for the web of tiny cracks spreading through it like frozen lightning. "Here lies our problem," Captain Blue's translator hummed. "The quantum crystal core suffered damage during our last space fold. The other repair stations said the fractures are too small and complex to fix." Mike pulled out his special inspection lens and leaned in close to the crystal surface. "Interesting. The crack pattern. It's not random. It's following the crystal's natural structure. Can you help us?" The alien captain's lights dimmed with worry. Instead of answering immediately, Mike reached into his pocket and pulled out something unexpected. An old glass marble. He held it up to the light. "See this? It's got a crack inside, but you can barely tell. Know why? Because my grandmother taught me how to fix glass when I was 10. She ran an antique shop." He turned to Tom. "Get me the nano repair kit and call in the laser team." "I've got an idea." Captain Blue's lights pulsed with confusion. "You wish to use primitive repair methods on our quantum core." "Sometimes the old ways work best," Mike replied with a grin. "The problem with your core isn't that it's too advanced to fix. It's that everyone's been trying to fix it with advanced methods. But crystal is crystal, whether it's powering a starship or sitting in a display case." Over the next few hours, the repair bay turned into a whirlwind of activity. Mike's team set up their equipment while he explained his plan to Tom and Captain Blue. "We'll use modified versions of Earth glass repair techniques," he said, pointing to his diagrams. "First, we stabilize the cracks with our nanobonding agent. Then, we use precisely controlled laser pulses to heat the crystal along the crack lines. As it cools, the crystal structure will reform." "But the core is immensely complex," Captain Blue protested. "One mistake could shatter it completely." "That's why we'll do it by hand," Mike explained. "Your automated systems are great for big repairs, but they lack the fine control we need here. Humans have something special. We can feel when something's not right. We notice tiny details that machines miss." The repair process was like watching artists at work. Mike and his team moved carefully around the core, using their modified tools with surgical precision. Their hands were steady, their movements exact. Hours passed as they worked their way through the complex pattern of cracks. Other alien crew members gathered to watch, their bodies glowing with different colors of amazement and concern. They had never seen repairs done this way, with such simple tools, yet such careful skill. "Look here," Mike said, pointing to where they had already finished. "The crystal isn't just repaired, it's stronger than before. The nanobonding agent is actually reinforcing the natural structure." Tom watched as the cracks slowly disappeared, leaving the crystal clear and perfect. The core began to pulse with a soft light, growing stronger by the minute. "Power readings are stabilizing," one of the technicians called out. "The core is accepting the repairs." Captain Blue's body flashed with bright patterns of joy. "Impossible. You've done what 7 advanced repair stations could not." "How?" Mike carefully packed away his tools, looking pleased but modest. "Sometimes the best solutions are the simple ones. We humans learned to fix things long before we had fancy technology. That experience doesn't go away just because we're working with advanced alien tech now. Our people have much to learn from humans," Captain Blue admitted. "We thought your species too primitive when you joined the Commonwealth. We were wrong." Tom smiled as he watched the core's light grow stronger and steadier. This was just the beginning, he knew. Word would spread about this repair, and soon. Chief, Jack's voice came through the intercom. We've got 3 more alien ships requesting emergency repairs. They say they heard we can fix the unfixable. Tom and Mike shared a knowing look. Humanity's reputation as the galaxy's fixers was about to begin. 3 months after fixing Captain Blue's crystal ship, the dock had become the busiest repair station in this part of the galaxy. Ships of all shapes and sizes waited in neat lines, forming a colorful queue that stretched far into space. Tom Reed stood in his now expanded control room, watching as his teams worked on 6 different alien vessels simultaneously. The sight still amazed him. Spider-like repair pods swarmed around a massive green bubble ship, while other engineers in spacesuits carefully welded the living metal skin of a bioorganic cruiser. Chief, Jack called from his new bigger desk, surrounded by dozens of screens showing repair operations. A Hive Queen ship just jumped in. They're requesting our magic human touch for their engine problems. Mike Harris walked in, wiping grease from his hands with an old rag. His hair had more gray now, but his eyes sparkled with the same excitement. Did someone say Hive Queen? Those engines of theirs are something else. They're basically artificial stars in a bottle. That's why they came to us, Tom replied, pulling up the ship's specs. 3 other stations told them it was impossible to contain a failing star core. But they heard about how we fixed the crystal ship. The station's main screen lit up with an incoming transmission. The Hive Queen's representative appeared, a tall insectoid being with gleaming compound eyes and delicate antennae. Greetings, Station Chief Reed, the alien's translator chirped. We have traveled 40 light years to reach your facility. Our star core is destabilizing. We need your human engineers. Tom looked at Mike, who was already studying the engine readings. Well, reminds me of the old fusion reactors we used to work on back on Earth, Mike mused. Sure, this is more advanced, but the principles are the same. Containing energy is containing energy, whether it's a tiny fusion reactor or an artificial star. Just then, a young engineer named Rob burst into the control room, his face bright with excitement. Chief, we just finished documenting the crystal ship repair method. The Galactic Engineering Council wants to publish it in their technical library. Tom smiled. This was another big step. Human repair techniques were becoming standard knowledge across the galaxy. Who would have thought that their primitive methods would be so valuable? Send them the documents, Tom ordered. But first, let's focus on the Hive Queen's ship. Mike, what do you need? Get me Team 3. They're good with high-energy systems. And call in Lisa from Team 6. She used to work on particle accelerators. She'll understand the containment fields. The next few hours were a blur of activity. More ships arrived as word continued to spread. The dock's reputation grew with each successful repair. Some aliens now called it the Miracle Workers Station. In the station's busy cafeteria, Tom overheard alien crews talking about human engineers with a mix of awe and confusion. They don't even use AI for complex repairs, one floating gas being whispered to its companion. I heard they can feel when something's wrong just by touching it. Another alien added, like some kind of repair magic. It's not magic, Mike said, sitting down with his coffee. It's experience. While other species developed AI to do their repairs, we humans kept fixing things ourselves. We learned to understand machines by working with them, breaking them, and fixing them again. Tom watched through the cafeteria window as another alien ship docked. This one looked like a giant snowflake made of metal. We're going to need more repair bays, he said. And more engineers. Already on it, Mike replied. I started a training program. We're teaching other species our repair methods. Some of them think it's strange at first, getting their hands dirty, but they're learning. The station's alert system chimed again. Jack's voice came over the intercom. Chief, the Hive Queen's engineers are ready to start the Star Core containment procedure. And we got 15 more ships asking for docking permission. Tom stood up, straightening his uniform. Well, Mike, ready to teach the galaxy another lesson about human engineering. Mike grinned, finishing his coffee. Always. You know what they say. The impossible just takes a little longer. As they walked to the repair bay, Tom noticed how much the dock had changed. New wings had been added, filled with human engineers teaching alien species the art of hands-on repairs. Screens displayed repair manuals in dozens of alien languages, all based on human techniques. The galaxy was learning that sometimes the simplest solutions were the best ones, and that human ingenuity was worth more than all the advanced technology in the universe. The emergency sirens at the dock wailed at midnight Earth time. Tom Reed, who had been reviewing repair logs in his office, felt his heart skip a beat when he saw the alert level. Maximum priority. Chief, Jack's voice was tense over the intercom. We've got an Ancient Ones ship approaching. They're broadcasting a diplomatic emergency signal. Tom's blood ran cold. The Ancient Ones were the oldest known species in the galaxy. They rarely left their space, and their technology was so advanced that most races considered it magic. Get Mike up here. Now. Tom rushed to the control room, where the massive view screen showed an approaching vessel that seemed to bend space around it. It didn't look damaged. It looked impossible. The ship's surface rippled like water, but it was made of metal that glowed with strange symbols. The ship's transmission came through, and a being of pure energy appeared on the screen. Its voice seemed to come from everywhere at once. This is Ambassador Light of the Ancient Ones, it said. Our ship's core systems are failing. We carry diplomats to the Peace Summit at Galaxy Center. If we do not arrive in 30 hours, a war between 3 major species will begin. Mike burst into the control room, still pulling on his work jacket. He froze when he saw the Ancient One ship. Well, that's not something you see every day. Can we help them? Tom asked quietly. Their technology is beyond understanding, Jack protested. Even their basic systems are more advanced than our most complex machines. The Ancient One's voice resonated again. We have heard of your ability to repair the unrepairable. We request permission to dock. Tom looked at Mike, who was already scanning the ship's readings. Mike. These energy patterns. Mike squinted at his tablet. They remind me of something. Give me access to Earth's historical engineering database. As the Ancient One's ship carefully docked, Mike's eyes lit up with recognition. I knew it. Their basic power distribution system. It's similar to old vacuum tube technology from Earth's early electronics, just millions of times more advanced. Tom stared at him. You're saying the most advanced ship in the galaxy works on principles similar to ancient Earth electronics. Think about it, Mike said excitedly. Vacuum tubes were reliable, could handle massive power loads, and were easy to fix. The Ancient Ones must have developed this principle to its absolute limit. The repair team suited up and boarded the Ancient One's ship. Inside, the corridors seemed to shift and change as they walked. The walls pulsed with streams of pure energy. Ambassador Light led them to the ship's core, a massive chamber where streams of light flowed like rivers in the air. But the patterns were wrong, jerky, with dark spots appearing where the energy flow failed. Our ship's consciousness is failing, the ambassador explained. None understand how to repair such systems anymore. The knowledge was lost eons ago. Mike studied the energy flows carefully. It's like a giant vacuum tube network. The energy flows are like electron streams. The dark spots, they're like burned-out tubes, but on a massive scale. Can you fix it? Tom asked. Mike pulled out his repair kit. We'll need to redirect the energy flows, like we used to do with old radio equipment. Then use our crystal repair techniques from Captain Blue's ship to fix the conduits. It's crazy, but it might work. If you fail, Ambassador Light warned, the energy release could destroy your station. Tom looked at his team, then at the waiting ambassador. This was bigger than just a repair job. Peace in the galaxy hung in the balance. But if anyone could do the impossible, it was his team of human engineers. We'll do it, Tom declared. But we'll need all hands on deck. Jack, call in every engineer we've got. And get our alien students too. They need to see this. As the repair teams rushed to their positions, and Mike began sketching out his repair plan, Tom watched the energy rivers flowing through the chamber. Humanity had come so far from its first primitive tools, but it was that very history, that long journey from simple machines to space travel, that made them unique. They understood technology at every level, from the simplest circuits to the most advanced systems. The galaxy's most advanced ship needed humanity's most basic understanding. The irony wasn't lost on Tom as he gave the order to begin repairs. The repair bay around the Ancient One's ship hummed with nervous energy. Engineers from every team gathered around Mike Harris as he explained his repair plan using a holographic display. "Look here," Mike pointed to the flowing energy streams. "These aren't just random patterns. They're like the circuits in old vacuum tubes, just operating on a quantum level. When one path fails, it affects all the others." Tom watched as his best engineers nodded in understanding. Even their alien students, who had been learning human repair techniques, leaned forward with interest. "But how can we touch pure energy?" Rob asked, voicing everyone's main concern. Mike smiled and pulled out what looked like an ancient radio vacuum tube from his pocket. "We don't touch the energy, we guide it, just like our ancestors did with electron flows. Lisa, remember how we fixed that particle accelerator last month?" Lisa's eyes widened. "The magnetic containment fields. We could modify them to work here." "Exactly," Mike said. "We'll use magnetic fields to redirect the energy flows while we repair the damaged conduits. Team 1 will handle the field generators. Team 2 will work on the crystal conduits using the techniques we developed for Captain Blue's ship." Ambassador Light observed silently, its energy form pulsing with what might have been curiosity or concern. The repair operation began like a carefully choreographed dance. Engineers in special suits moved through the ship's core, setting up modified field generators. Others prepared crystal repair equipment, their movements precise and confident. "First energy redirect starting now," Lisa announced. She carefully adjusted the magnetic field controls. Everyone held their breath as a stream of pure energy bent slowly, following the new path they'd created. "It's working," Rob shouted. "The energy's following our containment field." Mike didn't celebrate yet. "Good. Now comes the hard part. We need to repair the damaged conduits while keeping the energy flow stable. One wrong move, and—" He didn't need to finish the sentence. Everyone knew the stakes. The next few hours were the most intense the dock had ever seen. Engineers worked in perfect sync, their movements guided by years of experience and human intuition. When something unexpected happened, they adapted. When one approach failed, they tried another. "Chief," Jack's voice came through the comm. "We've got 15 hours until the Peace Summit deadline." Tom watched as Mike led the crystal repair team. They were using modified versions of old Earth glassworking techniques, treating the quantum conduits like delicate antiques. It was strange seeing such ancient methods applied to technology beyond human understanding. At hour 10, they hit their first major problem. One of the energy streams suddenly surged, threatening to break free of the magnetic containment. Field strength dropping. Lisa shouted, "We can't hold it." Mike didn't hesitate. Reverse the polarity. Like dealing with power surges in old tube radios, give the energy somewhere to go. The team reacted instantly, their training and human adaptability showing through. The energy stream stabilized, flowing into a backup conduit they'd prepared. "How did you know that would work?" Ambassador Light asked, its voice filled with genuine wonder. "Because we've been dealing with power systems since we first harnessed electricity," Mike explained, wiping sweat from his forehead. "The principles don't change, just the scale and complexity." Hour by hour, section by section, they repaired the Ancient One ship. Every problem they faced was met with a solution born from humanity's long history with technology. Where advanced alien methods had failed, simple human understanding prevailed. Finally, after 14 grueling hours, The last conduit was repaired. The energy streams flowed smoothly once again, their patterns bright and stable. "Testing final power distribution now," Lisa announced, her voice tired but proud. The ship's systems came back online one by one. The walls pulsed with healthy light, and the strange symbols glowed with renewed strength. Ambassador Light's form brightened considerably. "Remarkable. You have done what we thought impossible. Your understanding of fundamental principles surpasses even our own in some ways." Tom looked at his exhausted but triumphant team. "That's because we never forgot our roots. Every piece of technology we've ever made, every repair technique we've ever developed, we built on that knowledge instead of replacing it." "There's still 1 hour of testing needed," Mike said, checking his instruments. "But you'll make it to your peace summit on time, Ambassador." "Thanks to human ingenuity," the ambassador replied. "Perhaps there is much the Ancient Ones can learn from Earth's primitive species after all." 6 months after repairing the Ancient One's ship, the dock had transformed beyond recognition. What was once a simple repair station had become the galaxy's premier engineering academy. Tom Reed could hardly believe his eyes as he looked out over the expanded facility. The main repair bay now housed 30 different alien ships, each one serving as a hands-on training platform. Engineers from 100 different species worked alongside humans, learning the art of practical repair work. "Still amazes me every time I see it," Mike said, joining Tom at the observation window. They watched as a group of tentacled aliens used human-designed tools to repair a plasma drive, their movements careful and precise. "Latest enrollment numbers are in," Jack announced, bringing up a holographic display. "We've got waiting lists from 27 different star systems. Even the Ancient Ones are sending their engineers to learn from us." A familiar glow filled the room as Ambassador Light appeared. Since the successful repair of their ship, the Ancient Ones had become the dock's strongest supporters. "The Council of Galactic Species has finished their review," the ambassador announced. "They are officially recognizing human repair methodology as the new standard for engineering education across known space." Tom smiled, remembering how far they'd come. All because we never forgot the basics. The station's intercoms buzzed with activity as various teams reported their progress. In Bay 3, a human instructor taught alien students how to diagnose engine problems by sound and vibration. In Bay 7, another group learned the art of improvising repairs with limited resources, a uniquely human skill that had saved countless ships. "Chief," Rob's excited voice came through the comm. "The Crystal Ship Repair Manual has become the most downloaded technical document in the Commonwealth's history." Mike laughed. Not bad for a bunch of primitives who still believe in hands-on work. The observation deck's door slid open as Captain Blue entered, their crystalline body glowing with friendly patterns. The captain now served as a special instructor, helping bridge the gap between advanced alien technology and human repair techniques. "The latest class is ready for their practical exam," Captain Blue announced. "Would you like to observe?" Tom, Mike, and Ambassador Light followed Captain Blue to the training bay. Inside, engineers from 12 different species faced a deliberately damaged ship. They had 6 hours to repair it using only basic tools and human methods. "Remember," the human instructor told them, "technology can fail you, but understanding never will. Trust your training, trust your hands, and most importantly, trust each other." Tom watched with pride as the alien students began their work. They didn't immediately reach for advanced diagnostic tools or AI systems. Instead, they worked together, using their senses and their newly learned skills to identify and fix the problems. "Look at that," Mike pointed to a group of engineers. "They're using the glass repair technique we developed, but they've modified it for their own tools. They're not just copying us anymore. They're building on what we taught them." Ambassador Light's form pulsed thoughtfully. "When we first encountered humans, many dismissed your species as too primitive to join galactic society. Now you have revolutionized how the entire galaxy approaches technology. It's not just about the repairs," Tom explained. "It's about understanding. Every species developed technology differently, but we humans never lost touch with our roots. We kept building on our knowledge instead of replacing it. The station shuddered slightly as a massive ship docked. Jack's voice came through the comm. "Chief, the Hive Queen herself has arrived for the graduation ceremony. Her ship's carrying representatives from 50 different worlds." Tom straightened his uniform. The graduation ceremony would mark the first official class of alien engineers trained in human repair methods. These graduates would go on to establish their own training centers across the galaxy. "You know what this means," Mike said quietly. "Everything changes from here. The galaxy won't look at technology the same way again." Ambassador Light glowed brightly. "Perhaps that is exactly what we needed. Your species has taught us that progress isn't just about creating new technology. It's about truly understanding what we create." As they watched the alien students work, Tom realized that humanity had found its place in the galaxy. They weren't the most advanced species or the most powerful, but they had something just as valuable: the wisdom to know that sometimes the simplest solutions were the best ones. The repair revolution had begun, and it started with humans teaching the galaxy how to fix things. 1 year after the Ancient One's ship repair, Tom Reed stood in the dock's new Central Command Center, surrounded by holographic displays showing repair operations across the galaxy. What had started as a single Earth repair station had grown into a network of facilities, all running on human repair principles. "Final report from the Andromeda branch," Jack announced, bringing up a new hologram. Their first class of graduates just completed their certification. 27 species, all trained in human repair methods. Mike walked in, his old tool belt still hanging at his waist, despite his new title as Chief of Galactic Engineering Education. "Remember when we thought fixing Captain Blue's crystal ship was a big deal?" Speaking of big deals, Tom gestured to a massive screen showing their latest challenge. "Look what just arrived." A ship unlike anything they'd seen before hung in space near the station. It appeared to be alive, its surface rippling like the northern lights on Earth. 3 different species repair stations had already declared it unfixable. Now that, Mike grinned, looks like fun. The doors slid open as their newest team entered, a mix of humans and aliens who had graduated from the dock's training program. Leading them was Lisa, now head of the Advanced Repairs Division, followed by a crystal being like Captain Blue, a floating energy form similar to the Ancient Ones, and several other species. "Initial scans complete," Lisa reported. "The ship's biomechanical systems are failing, but we've seen something similar in deep-sea creatures on Earth. The principles aren't that different from fixing a whale's circulatory system." Tom watched with pride as the team began discussing repair strategies. They combined human intuition with alien knowledge, each species contributing their unique perspective, while following the basic principles that humans had taught them. "You've created something remarkable here," Ambassador Light said, appearing beside Tom. "The Council has been monitoring the impact of human repair techniques. The statistics are impressive." Jack pulled up the numbers. Ship repair success rates up 300% across known space. Average repair time down 60%. 7 previously impossible types of damage now routinely fixed. "But the numbers don't tell the whole story," Mike added. "The real change is in how species work together now. Everyone brings their own knowledge, but they all start with the basics, the human way." Through the massive window, they could see repair teams at work. In one bay, a group used modified earth welding techniques on a living metal hull. In another, engineers applied the crystal repair method to save a damaged quantum core. Each team mixed different species, all working together with human design tools and methods. "Chief," Rob's voice came through the comm. "You're needed in Bay 12. We've got something special to show you." In Bay 12, they found Rob standing next to what looked like a simple workbench. But this was no ordinary tool. It was the first piece of technology created jointly by 12 different species based on human repair principles. "We call it the Universal Repair Station," Rob explained proudly. It combines everything we've learned: human intuition, alien technology, and good old-fashioned hands-on work. Tom ran his hand over the workbench's surface. It was smooth like metal but warm like living tissue. "This is what we were meant to do," he said quietly. "Not just fixing ships, but bringing everyone together." The station's alert system chimed. More ships arriving for repairs. But now, instead of panic, there was quiet confidence. Every challenge was an opportunity to learn, to adapt, to improve. Mike picked up his old toolbox, the same one he used to fix Captain Blue's ship so long ago. "You know what I love most about this job? Every day, we prove that the simplest solutions are often the best ones. And that's humanity's gift to the galaxy," Ambassador Light added. "You taught us that progress isn't about forgetting the past. It's about building on it." As Tom watched the repair teams prepare for their next challenge, he thought about Earth's long journey from stone tools to starships. Every step of that journey, every broken machine fixed, every problem solved, had led to this moment. The galaxy had needed humanity's understanding of the fundamental nature of machines and repairs. But more than that, it had needed their spirit. The unshakable belief that anything could be fixed if you just understood how it worked. "Ready for another impossible repair?" Mike asked, heading toward the new ship. Tom smiled. "With this team, nothing's impossible anymore." And that was humanity's true legacy to the stars. Not just the ability to fix things, but the wisdom to understand them, the patience to teach others, and the courage to never stop learning.